We are looking at how to pronounce the Scottish and Irish word derived from Gaelic language. How do you go about pronouncing it? Gish. Gish.
Have you heard anything I've said for a while? Shit, I'm sorry. Alright, from now on in it's just water. So I don't know how long this tipsiness will last. That will probably be when I end the stream. Just because I don't really want to stream. Alright, right now. Alright. Opposite. What I mean by that is that I'm just tired. Master slash stranger. Opposite. Everyone will believe and do the opposite of what you say. This effect is permanent and you cannot deactivate it. Additionally, your words and actions are... Oh, I read that. Master slash thinker. Patrol. You can create invisible specters that travel a designated route. While they don't share senses with you, you are a vague sense of the things happening around you. That's not written right. While you have a vague sense of the things happening around them. While there are no limits on how many you can make, they'd only move as fast as normal walking speed. Master, recite. You can force anyone to say anything. There's no limit to what you can make them say or what words they can speak. You can even make them speak languages they don't know. To be honest, I think I'm just going to end this after an hour. Just because I'm tired. Alright, nobody watches this. And that's fine. I can do other stuff. Like eat mozzarella. Master slash thinker confetti. You have extremely fine telekinetic control over all scraps of paper smaller than a square inch within 100 meters. I suggest you get a paper shredder. You also have an unlimited capacity to multitask. So, like Skitter or Weaver, I'm gonna say Skitter, Weaver, Capri, but with paper shards or paper shredded paper. Animate objects. You can give verbal commands to objects telekinetically, animating them like puppets. It may be as complex of a command as you like, but commands will fade after an hour. The maximum force exerted is based on your own strength, and the accuracy and precision of their movements depends on your skill with using the objects. While they can follow orders, they do not have the intelligence and creativity required to make decisions. You can tell an object information required for future orders, but the information will be forgotten an hour after it was given. Grand puppetry required shaker slash blaster action at a distance. The maximum force you can exert on animated objects has risen to equal that of shakers slash blaster action at a distance, allowing you to manipulate massive objects up to the size of entire buildings through your verbal commands. Furthermore, as long as the objects can hear your voice and you are aware of the objects you wish to control, you can remotely command them. For example, using a phone or speaker. The movements of the animated objects have also become significantly more accurate and precise, mirroring the innate exactness of your force projection. Whether you're guiding a needle through a keyhole or coordinating the synchronized movement of multiple objects, your orders are executed flawlessly. Master Thinker. Fear. Hold on. Master slash thinker, fear. You have the knowledge on how to cause fear. You can know anyone's fear with just a glance, and the perfect way to make them feel fear. You can manipulate those who are afraid, making them unknowingly act as you wish. You can, with relative ease, traumatize people, permanently scarring them. Doing so allows you to place a permanent order in their subconscious. This works best when used on a single person at once, but can still be used on a crowd. Gold Digger. You have a passive master effect that affects everybody you interact with, increasing their willingness to give you gifts and valuables. This effect is massively increased on targets who find you attractive. Shiny required master. It's the thought that counts. You can now effectively buy your way into favorable relationships, able to substitute money and valuables in place of bonding. Despite the method used, the relationship isn't contingent on valuables still flowing in, so bribing that politician to be your friend will actually make them your friend, and something that can and will persist even when you no longer send them money. That would be good with. I don't remember which one it is, but it's a thinker power. And Master, oh, it's like the dating simulation power. Master slash Trump piracy. You are able to seize control of any entity already under a master effect, or any projection. For example, you could take over one of the Fairy Queen's shades, gain control of a swarm of bugs, or even turn a semiurge bomb to work in your favor. Additionally, this ability includes a subpower that enables you to detect who or what is currently under a master effect. You will retain control permanently, and you will be able to dismiss the master effect if you wish. For stuff like Smear's bonks or skitter bugs, it's pretty direct. But for stuff like Siberian or Fairy Queen shades, you will be able to resummon them at a later date if you wish. Master slash Thinker, Rodent King. You have the total control of the minds of any and all rodents within 3 city blocks. You have an unlimited capacity to multitask. Ratus Rex Magnus. Required Master slash Thinker, Chitter. Your control over rodents have been increased to the point you are able to have absolute control of them, down to their involuntary movements. You can even outright possess them, perceiving and feeling what they see and feel. Master Bacchus. We're gonna look up how that works. Pronunciation. There we go. Bacchus.
Bacchus.
Bacchus. There we go. You can incite feelings of unrestrained abandon in those around you, lowering inhibitions and inducing low-level euphoria. This effect gradually increases to outright drunkenness, with no negative consequences felt the next day. You can even further amplify this aura by imbuing it with bloodlust, leading those affected to become wildly aggressive and violent. Inverse cannibalism. Your body has undergone a disturbing transformation. Every part of you, your blood, flesh, and organs, has potential to become irresistibly delicious, more flavorful than anything anyone has ever tasted. With each bite, the taste would only grow more exquisite, an endless escalation of delight. You even exude an aroma of the perfect meal, enticing those around you. However, this allure only manifests if you willingly consent to give your flesh. If you do not, your body becomes the opposite, vile and repulsive, with a taste and scent so foul it drives away even the most desperate. Those who attempt to consume you without permission are met with this revolting experience, even suffering sickness from this. For those who taste your blood with your consent, an addiction takes hold immediately. They become slaves to their desire, unable to resist the compulsion to obey your every command in hopes of savoring you again. Over time, their identity erodes, leaving them little more than puppets, unable to willingly break free from your control. If someone under your thrall is forcibly separated from you, they suffer intense withdrawal symptoms, both physical and mental. Only those who survive this torment for long enough can break free from your influence. This doesn't give any additional regeneration, so be wary. Required stranger brute. Cursed blood. Now, whenever someone eats your flesh and gets addicted to it, they are also poisoned. The only cure for the symptoms of the poison? Your flesh. Rehabilitation is now near impossible, as if they do not have your flesh or blood regularly, as if they do not, they will die. Medicine or poison, the difference is the dosage. Panacea. If your flesh and blood is eaten without permission, the person who eats it will suffer temporarily, but will still benefit from the healing and or boost from eating your flesh. However, this boost has become a curse. The healing they gain is flawed. The boost they gain is broken. A temporary boost that gives various long-term issues. For instance, a wound that heals might seem fine at first, but it could reopen later, festering with infection. A temporary boost in strength or speed might be followed by debilitating weakness or pain, leaving them worse off than before. If they have devoured your flesh and blood for an extended period of time, then the issues will likely result in their death. On the other hand, if given permission, not only will they get an addiction to your flesh, they will also grow stronger from it. Any power they have slowly becomes more versatile as their restrictions loosen. Normal humans slowly evolve as their bodies become more efficient. However, the addiction will still grow. In fact, it will be worse as those who eat your flesh can feel themselves growing and they will desire to grow more. Master slash stranger. Ghost freak. You can step out of your body, creating an invisible, intangible specter that you won't inhabit. While your body falls unconscious, as the specter you can float and have selective intangibility. Although you will not be able to affect the world in a direct manner. For example, if you climb on the back of someone in your specter form, the target will feel heavier and more tired and strained. If you If you whisper in the ear of someone, they will be influenced by your words, although it is limited to short-term influences. If your body is harmed or awakened, your spectral form will dissolve, and you will reawaken in your body. Master slash stranger reverse controls. You can reverse how anyone within your line of sight perceives direction. They will see up as down, left as right, and forwards as backwards. This effect wears off as soon as they are out of your line of sight. Master Puppeteer. You can make anyone within clear sight match your moves precisely. They will follow the exact moves you do and even copy the words you say, although you can't make them do anything that you yourself cannot do. If both you and they possess a blaster power, you may use their blaster power. Master, play along. You can completely control a person's actions and powers while you are touching them, but they are free as soon as you let go. Master monologue. You can cause other people around you to monologue for long periods of time without them realizing it. This can cause them to reveal all forms of information they otherwise wouldn't normally say. Master Heavy Gaze. With this power, you can command anyone with just a glance. The longer the target is exposed to your serious glare, the more overwhelming the cessation of compliance becomes. They will feel an irresistible urge to do whatever you want against their own free will, as if possessed. Brilliant! You are able to conjure 3 powerful muscular horses that can sprint at a speed of Mach 3. (2,301 miles per hour). also very fast, making them an elite and speedy means of transportation. These horses also have movers stairway to heaven, allowing them to run in the air. If the horses remain in close proximity to each other, they can combine their abilities to form a chariot-like construct, enabling a rider to travel at superhuman speeds without experiencing any negative effects, such as inertia or nausea. This chariot also grants the rider a minor cognitive boost, allowing their mind to process information at a heightened rate, thus eliminating any perception of time dilation. Ghost copies. You can create multiple glowing, translucent copies of yourself, each one appearing side by side in a chain that connects back to you. Creating these clones costs stamina. These clones can't stray far from one another, requiring close proximity and coordination. But this makes for a highly synchronized team. You and your clones are adept at working together, making it easy to execute complex strategies and formations. Each clone do not have any of your powers. When you take damage, the damage is randomly transferred. Well, they need to fix that. Transfer to one of your clones. The clones are also relatively minor, fragile, more fra- those the clones are also relatively more fragile than you, shiring when they take too much more damage. Master Confession. When this power is activated, the forces whoever you ask a question to answer truthfully. This works off the spirit of the question. Your power automatically communicates your intentions even when you would fail. This can be directed as you wish, only affecting those you wish to affect, no one. Dark Passenger. Through touch, you implant or rouse out a dark passenger, a person's shadow or darker side brought to life within their mind. This manifests as voices and urges, thoughts they usually put off as intrusive. Gain push inside their psyche, having an increasingly sociopathic to homicidal as more times passes. Their mind deteriorating the more they fight against the side of themselves. If a person caves in, the passenger overtakes the person's psyche, essentially overriding their mind in a literal bent of shadow position. There's a way out, though. The target can either resolve to confront the side of themselves or even integrate it from within, killing the dark passenger and leaving the target with a stronger psyche or mental strength than before. Inner temptation. A demon of the heart's awakening in every person's shadow are mere facets of the same idea. A person's worst true self, a person's heart demon, and dark passenger consolidate into a more invasive entity, an image diablo, a version of themselves where their worst impulses and flaws that feeds off the entirety of the target's worst aspects. It'll haunt the target at every moment, warping their sense of reality to cave into their urges and worst selves unwittingly, isolating them from anyone capable of bringing them to their senses. Its methods overwhelms the target, catastrophizing the entity as apparently insurmountable, giving the entity more power and influence the more the target crumbles over the enormity of their materialized faults. The entity briefly taking control in a blackout episode to act on their vices or urges, sinking the target's mental health. Once the target's all-time low, who they once were, or gives up, the entity takes their place in kind. Just like both powers, the only way to overcome this is by confronting and accepting this crystallized image, rejecting the entity's prospect, and accepting it as a part of oneself, denying the entity of what it feeds on. Outer struggle. The monster manifested from a person's sins takes on dark passenger's traits. First, it removes your touch-based limitation. As long as you put a name to the target's face, you can inform the monster. They are completely ruthless, especially to their maker, never turning down an opportunity to goad or mock them for their weakness. Having a more overt influence of their maker, the closer they are, becoming more irritable, quick to anger, or sensitive to their negative traits or emotions. Made of the sins and the target's darker mental facets and actions that push them to act them out. The monster is 2 times more powerful than normal, already cunning, enough to outwit the target, with the finality of breaking the target's will, leaving a husk of their former selves, without fully taking over their body. A puppet in all but name for the monster to hide. Confronting your darker impulses and the sins hounding will weaken the manifestation's powers and strength, fully dispelling once the target has attained a fulfilling closure with the sins they hold. Hypodancer Master. Whenever you dance, you can emit ripples in the air that causes anyone hit by them to enter a trance and obey anything you say. If your dance was the most atrocious thing ever, the ripples would barely travel away from you, and those caught by them would not obey any word they absolutely would not want to. Plus, it wouldn't last long. As such, the better your moves, the farther those ripples travel. The more orders can bypass willingness, and the more the trance will last. These actions through electronics, with said electronics acting as vectors for the ripples. So if the ripples extend 5 meters from you, a TV would send ripples up to 5 meters. If you were the best dancer in the world, not only would your range be that of an entire city, but by that point your suggestions would become permanently absolute. Siren's Call. Your body is a stage, your voice an instrument, and together they shape the masses. You now possess an innate mastery of dance, moving with effortless grace no matter the style, and your power naturally helps you improvise songs that purposely complement your emotions. Singing makes people eager to listen and follow, while dancing reinforces deep involuntary obedience. They are able to piggyback off each other, with the song being able to be transferred fully through electronics via the ripples, and the strength of the ripples able to match the strength of your song. Additionally, when you sing and dance together, those who follow your commands begin to grow stronger. Their physical and mental capabilities subtly enhance the more they obey, reacting faster, thinking sharper, and enduring more. This makes your enthralled followers not just loyal, but increasingly formidable. The effect is temporary, but can become permanent with prolonged influence. Alright, I'm gonna go. It's just, I don't think I can stream like this, so I will see you next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.